Sega is releasing banger after banger. The other day, I gave my impressions of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which is just fantastic, but another Sega game just dropped on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, and that is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and I cannot put this game down. It is so saucy. Oh my gosh. Shinobi is a 2D action platformer that is part of Sega's plan to revitalize some of its older IPs. And let me tell you, I am so glad they decided to do it with Shinobi because this game just cooks. So in this game, you play as the legendary Joe Musashi, leader of the Oboro clan. And the evil paramilitary organization ENE Corp has attempted to take over the world, and Joe's clan is the only thing standing in their way. So naturally, the ENE attacks the Oboro clan, and the village is destroyed, killing many who live there. So Joe goes out on a quest for revenge in order to take down Ruse, the leader of ENE. As you progress through the game, you learn more and more about Ruse and his motives behind his actions that are actually super deep and super interesting, and I really enjoy how the story progressed. I won't spoil anything for you guys because it is really interesting, but it is just a really fun tale. There is voice acting in this game. However, Joe doesn't actually say anything. He just goes, every time someone talks to him. Every single time. It's just,
Wow, I heard that clear as a bell.
But everybody else is fully voice acted, and it's very well done in this game. I really like that. So getting into the actual game itself, the art style in this game is fantastic. All in all, the theming of Joe Musashi and the clan, as well as the art style, it just kind of feels like a cartoon in the best ways. It just feels so good. All of the environments that you encounter in each of these levels looks fantastic. I love the style that they went for in this game with kind of a retro cartoony look. It just feels so good. And the movement feels great in this game, between jumping wall to wall in order to traverse the level, rolling over crates, or dashing through the air. The game absolutely nails the feeling of being a ninja. I couldn't get enough of how this game actually moved. It made parkour through the environments really interesting, especially as you continue to explore and found some more complicated areas to traverse. The movement just is chef's kiss. And in the levels, you are going to find a variety of different enemies, some with more natural kind of attack patterns, looking at things like throwing shurikens at you or firing a gun at you that you can dodge roll through, to more magical based enemies that are shooting some mystical beams at you, or they're even using magic to heal the allies in the area around you, requiring you to really prioritize which enemies you're actually going to be going for at the start of each encounter, which I thought was really fun. I liked being able to identify immediately what the biggest threat on the field was and remove them from the equation in order to actually continue the fight in the most effective way. And just the combat itself feels good. It starts off very simple, with Y being your basic attack and X being your heavy attack, and as you progress through the game, you're going to unlock more and more combos, allowing you to change up your attack patterns and chain these different combos together to make you feel like a true ninja. I couldn't get enough of the combat. Every time I encountered either a challenge room or something that I knew I was going to be getting into a bigger combat encounter, I was so happy because it feels so good. And the game's difficulty is just the right level, where the game is definitely challenging, but it's not so much so in a way that's frustrating. Every time that I was taken down or defeated, I knew it was a mistake that I personally made. I was too quick with my attack, or I didn't dodge at the right time. It never felt like the game was difficult just for the sake of being difficult. It was very much, everything's intended and everything has a very particular pattern. So if you get off rhythm and you decide that you're going to, attack when you shouldn't, you can definitely have some missteps and then hinder your ability to progress. But all in all, I felt like the difficulty level was just perfect. Everything felt challenging but incredibly satisfying when you did eventually take it down. And let me tell you, once you get on a roll with the combat and you start tearing into some enemies, you kind of get in that zone, you can chain some freaking sweet combos together in this game that just feel so good, like something out of an anime. The way I'm just dashing and attacking enemies and chaining my different combos. Like, my favorite thing to do is to do a combo and knock an enemy down off a ledge, and then I jump up and do my my drop kick, and then I immediately change that into a spin attack. Oh my gosh, this game's combat just feels so good as you learn it and get these combos down. You'll also unlock these abilities known as Ninpo to summon like these elemental type attacks to deal massive damage to enemies, and you can have 4 of these equipped at a time, changing how combat is actually going to play out based on the ones that you have equipped. And you're going to gain charges for these by attacking enemies, so the more attacks you pull off, the quicker you can charge up your Ninpo and do special attacks. There's also a rage meter that can be filled by taking damage, and these perform even more powerful attacks or even have benefits such as healing you, which I found to be very useful in a lot of the boss fights in this game. And the boss fights feel so well designed. I really liked how even the mini bosses felt like there was a fun pattern for you to learn and proved to be very challenging, giving you a lot of just stuff to digest as far as the combat goes. It allowed you to look at the pattern, figure out the best course of action for each boss or mini boss, and even if you were defeated, you'd go in with more knowledge the next time you went to take down that boss, and you'd get farther. I got to a certain point in the game where I was literally just looking for patterns before I'd start attacking the boss. After I learned what this was going to throw at me, I'd then go and attack, and I just felt so much more powerful with having the knowledge needed to take down the boss before actually starting the boss encounter. I thought that was a really fun way to take on the bosses personally, rather than just going in guns blazing and learning as I go. Now, the level design in this game reminds me a lot of Metroidvanias, but it's not a Metroidvania where it's one continuous map. They are individual levels. However, in these levels, you will still be backtracking a lot to access rooms you previously hadn't discovered, or find a way into and exploring areas that you didn't know were there before. And by doing this, you're going to find things like relics and coins that can be spent at the shop to unlock new abilities and attacks. And you'll also find new power-ups like new Ninpo to use, item or health expansions, or sometimes even new costumes through your exploration, giving you a reason to return to levels that you already completed to find the items that you missed. And just like in other Metroidvania games, as you progress through the game, you'll find new tools that will make previously inaccessible areas of old levels accessible. Things like the tiger claws that allow you to grab onto certain wall types and climb them, or the grappling hook that you'll unlock further into the game. There's just a lot of these tools that you'll discover, or attacks that you'll discover, that allow you to open up rooms that you weren't previously able to get to. Now, certain sections of levels also have these fun elite squad encounters that you'll have, where you take on these bigger, more powerful packs of enemies. But I will warn you, be cautious. If you're low on health, you maybe want to like go to the next shrine, get your health back, and come back to these, because they are pretty challenging. Just the amount of enemies that they throw at you, it can be a little difficult to take these down if you're not fully prepared. And taking down all the elite squads in a level will net you a special reward, so you definitely want to keep your eye out for them. There's also a lot of fun parkour sections in these levels, where you'll find these particularly difficult areas that maybe have a certain type of condition or barrier that you have to figure out how to get through, whether it be like spikes to run into or electricity beams that you have to dodge. And it makes for a really fun and challenging use of taking all the tools that you've gathered and being able to apply them to take down a certain parkour challenge for whatever shiny reward is at the end. So the more you explore, the more you find in this game, and it feels so satisfying to return to old levels with your new tools and find all these secrets that you missed on your first go round. And eventually, once you get even farther into the game, you'll unlock what are called Anku realms, which are another type of challenge room. And I found these to be even more difficult than the actual elite squad encounters that you found. They just throw so many different elements at you, and you do get a satisfying reward at the end, so you definitely want to keep your eye out for those challenge rooms as well. I will say that the ability to return to previous sections and levels is made so easy with the way the shrine system works. The shrines are essentially your checkpoints and fast travel points in all of the level, and anytime you return, you can simply click any of the options that you have as far as the shrines you've discovered in order to teleport back and go to that section of the level, allowing you to go back and find the items that you missed so much more easily than if you had to play the whole level through over again. It's a really smart design choice in that way. Another thing I liked about how this game progressed is that you're actually able to go ahead and pick which level you want to undertake. It's not a linear path. Usually there's a selection of 2 to 3 levels that they throw at you in each section of the game, and you can bounce back and forth between all of these levels at any time without having to actually complete one or the other. You can just get into one, do what you want in that one, and go, oh, I have an item, maybe let me backtrack and check out this other level where I remember I needed this particular item to progress. I can go back to that level, get the reward, and then go back to the other level I was working on. The ability to bounce back and forth between all these locations really makes the game feel like it has a ton of variety of choice in how you go about playing through the game. I've just been going level to level, and then between each level, after I complete it, I go back and be like, okay, I know I have this power up here, let me go back to this location and see what treasure's lying for me there. But I could definitely see the appeal of being like, okay, I did a little bit here, let me go check out this other zone. Okay, now I'm halfway through this one, let me go to this other one. There's just so many different ways you can actually go about playing the game with the way they designed it, and I like that quite a bit. Now, genuinely, I don't have really any complaints with this game. I really like how this game is as a whole. It just feels so good to play. But I do have one gripe, one nitpick, and it's handheld play. What is happening in handheld play? There's this weird pixelation of the character models when you're playing in handheld, especially with Joe. Joe just looks bad when you're playing handheld. It's super pixelated. You can't even really tell what you're looking at. The game itself plays fine handheld. You can play the game handheld just fine. You just can't tell what Joe looks like. Like, it's very odd what happens when you play the game handheld. The textures are definitely a bit worse in the environment, but it's not as bad as the character model itself. I don't know what's going on there. Again, it plays perfectly fine handheld. There's no issue as far as gameplay goes. It's literally just the texture and the character models that are just, I don't know what's happening there. So my final thoughts on Shinobi Art of Vengeance. This game cooks. This is a game you don't want to miss. It feels so good to play. And honestly, this year has been a year for Ninja games, right? Ninja Gaiden Ragebound came out. Now we have Shinobi Art of Vengeance that came out, and later Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out. Like, ninjas have made a comeback this year, and I'm here for it. This game just feels so good and captures that essence of being a ninja. And really, once you lock in and learn your combos, man, it feels so incredibly satisfying taking down packs of enemies in this game, completing parkour challenges, going through the levels and exploring. It all just feels so incredibly good. They really knocked this game out of the park, in my opinion. I can't get enough of it, and I'm still going back and getting all of the stuff that I missed in previous levels, going for 100% in the levels that I didn't get it in. Like, it just is so incredibly satisfying, the gameplay loop that they made in this game, that I genuinely cannot recommend it enough. And like I said, this game is on the Nintendo Switch as well as the Nintendo Switch 2. I played entirely on the Nintendo Switch 2, but it's coming in at $30 digitally. There is a deluxe edition that includes some other stuff. I believe it also includes the season pass. Because this is a Sega game, they got some cool crossovers coming where, like, Dr. Eggman is going to be a villain in one of the DLCs. So that actually sounds really cool and something I'm excited for as someone who really loved this game. I'm very excited to see what they cook up as far as like special cameo villains in the DLC. It sounds incredibly exciting and something that I'm probably going to upgrade to. I think I'm going to get the digital deluxe edition now that I've played the game and felt like I just got so much out of it. I can't wait to play more of it. So definitely worth checking out, especially the digital deluxe edition. If you decide that this game really looks like a game for you, I think it's worth it for the value that you get out of this game. The digital deluxe edition's coming in at $40. So if that is the route you want to go, just $10 more for that. And it is just super nice. Again, it does include that digital deluxe season pass for all the additional content that's coming. I just can't say enough good things about this game. It just hits in all the right ways imaginable. I really enjoyed my time with it, and I'm going to continue enjoying my time with it as I continue to 100% levels and go through the game. It is just a absolute treat. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you're a Shinobi fan, if you're picking up Shinobi Art of Vengeance, or if you've already played it. What are your thoughts on Shinobi? Definitely, I never mentioned this, but I'm going to bring it up here. If you want more content from me, I do have a member service. I haven't started doing any member stuff. We don't have any members members yet. It's not something that's required. It's just there if you're interested. But I will do additional members only videos for any members that join, and we'll do a poll every week, and we'll do one weekly members video based on the poll options that you guys pick from. So that's just something I want to bring up. If you want to support the channel in an additional way, be sure to check that out. Also check out the Discord where people are hanging out. We're talking, playing Nintendo Switch stuff, talking about predictions, you know, for directs and stuff. Very exciting times in Nintendo Switch space. So check out Discord if you're just looking for a fun community to hang out in. But like I said, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out, helps the video out, helps the channel out immensely. But until next time, peace.